had a lot of people ask me how I record such clean audio when I film outdoors, so let me show you how it's done. I mainly record using a Tascam DR10 lavalier mic. It's not specifically made for music, but it's what I had when I started. I'll usually tape the mic inside the soundboard of the Harp and hide the recorder on whatever I'm wearing. I love how tiny the setup is. It's easy to hide and even forget that there is a mic at all. If I'm feeling fancy and I'm near a power source, I'll also use my Harp's piezo pickups. The reason I need an outlet is to power my pedals, which are essential to cleaning up the pickup's audio, which sounds quite muffled and dull on its own. Here's the Harp's piezo pickups, straight out. And now here's the pickup going through the pedals. So here's a rundown of the rig. The boost pedal increases the volume of the signal to avoid too much white noise. The 29 pedals unit makes the biggest difference. It's essentially a buffer, but it works like magic to retrieve the brightness and sharpness of the pickup's audio. Then the high-pass filter cuts out the bass frequencies. Since the Harp is an extremely resonant instrument, the sound can easily get muddy, and this cleans up the unwanted frequencies. Of course, you don't have to go through pedals. You could do a lot of this in the mix, but you're saving yourself a lot of time by having this already set up. And if you're planning on using effects pedals with your Harp, it's primordial to get a clean sound going into those. It's also really useful if you're amplifying your Harp and playing live. I run this into my Focusrite Scarlett interface, along with the lav mic for a stereo sound. When I run the lav mic into the interface rather than the recorder it comes with, I use a Rode VXLR Plus adapter. Not only does it adapt an aux jack into an XLR input, but it also converts the interface's 48-volt phantom power to a lower voltage to power the mic. This took a lot of trial and error to figure out. I like to combine both audio sources to create a fuller stereo sound, but honestly, just one or the other is fine. They both have their advantages. The lav mic is more portable, less expensive, probably easier to use, but the pickups do a better job at cutting out ambient noises, like the cicadas. Still, the lav mic does a pretty good job at cutting out ambient noise. Sometimes I'll be annoyed that a neighbor's mowing their lawn when I'm filming, only to check the recording and realize it's barely audible. And because it's shielded from the wind, you don't get too much mic distortion. Sometimes I'll catch the sound of birds, which I like. I hope this is helpful to fellow musicians and harpists.